Okay, so we're going to do Project 5, and this is a fairly quick assignment, but it's going to take a little bit of effort to download data from FactSet, which you have no experience with, or unless you've done it in another class. And we're going to learn how to do pivot tables, which are really useful in industry. So this first part is we're going to take a closer look at geared funds, and geared funds are designed to deliver returns that are determined by the returns earned by the underlying index. So the index could be anything from the Dow Jones Industrial Average to the S&P 500 to the Wilshire 5000 to the Dow Jones Real Estate, etc. So what they're doing is they're trying to either mimic the returns by in a magnified way. So it's not just an index fund. An index fund tries to mimic the returns on the index, but a geared fund tries to sort of double, say, for example, the returns on an index. So it would be an ultra fund would be using leverage to increase, to amplify the return on the index. And then short funds are intended to deliver exactly the opposite result as the index. So if the index returns 2%, then the short fund is going to go down by 2%. And an ultra short fund could go down by 4%. So ultra short is magnifying that return. So you're going to use these geared funds. So you're going to click in on this and find these ProShares. And I think the easiest way is to sort by type and look for geared funds. And what they're doing here is, if you look at, for example, this one is the Dow Jones US Financials Index. That's the index or benchmark that they're trying to mimic. And it's a short fund, so it's -1 times short fund. Here's an ultra fund, so they're trying to double the return on the Treasury, etc. So here's a one that's really leveraged. It's a -3x. Here's a 3x of the S&P 500. So find a fund that you want to study, and then go to FactSet. And I'm going to show you how to use FactSet. I don't have a computer that has both Camtasia and FactSet on it, so I can't record both, but I'm going to show you using these snippets that I took from FactSet. So first of all, here's how you open FactSet. On the desktop, it'll have this FactSet button, or you can do it using the Start menu. And once you get FactSet open, you're going to go to this Company or Security tab on FactSet. And you're going to click on that, and you'll get this spot that says Price History. And then it's going to load up with the price history for your fund. And I didn't actually take a snippet of that, but it'll load up with the price history. So I've typed in, this is DDM, which is something I was looking at before, in here, and it'll show me the price history in here. Then you're going to need to get your returns. So up here at the top, once you have the returns filled in from here, it's going to have this screen up there, and you're going to choose, it doesn't matter multiple or single. It's going to probably be easier to do it multiple. Percentage change on this drop down menu, so make sure that one says percentage change. It's a drop down menu, so you can do it. And then calendar year here, and we'll come back to that. Actually, for the first thing you're going to do, this is going to be previous 5 years, so you don't need to worry about calendar year being on there. So you're first going to use FactSet to download daily return data for the last 5 years. So you'll want this to be daily right here, and I think it's right here that you tell it 5 years, but I'm not 100% sure about that, not having a FactSet in front of me. And then you're going to download daily return data for each fund, the short, the ultra short, and the ultra. Then you're going to download return data for the same time period for the indexes corresponding to the ETFs. So some of the indexes are only available on Bloomberg. If you get one of those, you're going to have to go get the index data from there. You're going to make sure that your dates line up and everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be. So I downloaded ProShares short Dow 30, which is dog. That's why I don't want you to do dog. And also the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is the index. And these are both returns on those indexes. I'm looking down here to see what I've got. Make sure I've got the last 5 years of daily data and nothing different. And I do. So make sure that you've got the same, that the dates line up before you do the rest of this part of the assignment. Okay, so now you're going to run a regression using the short returns or the ultra short or the ultra. Returns is your y variable, returns on the index as your x variable. And you're going to click on line fit plots to have Excel make the regression graph because you're going to answer some questions about that regression graph. All right, so here it is. So I'm going to do data analysis, regression, my Y range is going to be my ProShares data. Notice that this is in percent form, not decimal form, but that's okay as long as it's consistent, that both your index and your fund are in the same format. Let me make sure I got everything. I don't think I got everything. Make sure I got everything on here too, and I did. Okay. And then you're going to click output range. I'm going to put my output right here. And then I'm going to click on line fit plot to see how that line fits the data. Okay, and so there's what it looks like. And you can see that this regression coefficient is negative 0.987. So it's almost perfectly opposite of the index, which is exactly what they're going for in this fund. And that I can look at this line fit plot, and if I make it bigger, in fact I can, let me see if I can move this. I'm going to move the chart to a new sheet so we can see it a little bit better. You don't have to do that. And you can see that the predicted value is the orange and the actual value is the blue. And so this data fits, this line fits this data really, really well. So that's a very good fit. So you're going to do that for each of your funds. You're going to have one that's going to be, let's just look at this. So one's going to be your short fund, and a short fund you're going to expect it to be a negative 1-ish. An ultra fund you're going to expect it to be greater than 1, so 2 or 3 or whatever their objective is. And then an ultra short fund you're going to expect it to be negative 2 or negative 3 so that it amplifies the returns on the index. And I'm going to stop here so that you can, let me talk about number 5. For your fund with the lowest R-squared, repeat the regression in step 4, but run 2 regressions, one using the most recent half of the return data and the other using the oldest half of the data, so that you can see if anything has changed about their ability to track the index that they're trying to track. So I forgot to also mention that all the answers, all the questions that I've asked you in this project are kind of interspersed through the project, so I've highlighted them in yellow so you can find them. And I'm expecting that, given what I've told you so far, that you can answer these fairly well. And I'm going to stop here so that you can get a chance to finish those other 2 regressions that you need to do, and I'll come back to this when I get ready to start part 2. Again, It's a fairly short project, shouldn't take you that long.